It is. There, yeah. Now we gotta get this rule board up. I don't know where the rule board at, man. Get the rules going. Hold on, I should have that in here. It is dry season. Wait, what's going on with this? That is, I like it. All right. All right. Let me hurry up and do. This. I've been rocking out on these videos, man. These videos been kind of crazy lately, but you know, not as crazy as I would like. But I think I got a good strategy going. Um, Let me build this new stage real quick. Call this the rule stage. Make it a copy of this. Where am I at? Stream rules? Yeah, okay, so get rid of that. I was looking for that. That look better. And then what I'll do almost. What? Wait, don't tell me I can't.
There's no time for regret, but I remember how I slept in your chest. I want to forget it, take a breath and leave you away. But it's not that easy, 'cause you make me
All right, there we go. Do these channel rules real quick before we get it cracking. I am such a streaming rookie. All right, we gotta get rid of it. There we go. All right. Oh. I think I'm just gonna dive in because I don't feel like waiting really. And the faster I get this done, the faster I can get back to creating that content everybody seems to love so much. Alright, so channel rules, obviously. No doxing, no swearing in the chat. If you can help it, please don't do that. Be nice to everybody, obviously. Absolutely no work discussions. And be ready to obey rules 1 through 4. Alright? Let's get into it. What are we doing tonight? What are we up to tonight? Alright, so we are doing the to-do list challenge from the GitHub. The back web. Windows is actually pretty tight until it do something weird. Then it make me remember why I hated Windows all that time. Like, it has its moments of just being really odd, like just an awkward operating system. But I ain't really got no complaints with Windows. I'm a Windows fan. I mean, I started using Windows. That's how it all started for the combo junkie. So I don't hate, I don't despise. All right, so what are we doing tonight? Let's go through it real quick. What are we up to? So we're about to knock out this coding challenge. See if we can do it in one take on the stream in time. We got 2 hours total to finish it. We're gonna see if we can do it. If we can't do it, y'all know the rules. I gotta somehow punish myself. Maybe I do the 1 chip challenge or something like that. We'll see. I don't know what the punishment is, but the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna take on one of these coding challenges from here. So here's the one that we doing today, the first intermediate challenge, which is the to-do list app. We're gonna knock that out, and we are going to make it a little more difficult for ourselves by spinning this random wheel of chance. So depending on which one of these it land on will dictate you know, what suffering we putting on ourselves. So let's go through these options real quick. The first one here is edit. All right, so wait. First, let's go through the challenge. What exactly is the challenge for tonight? So we have to build a to-do list application. The description is create a to-do list application using TypeScript where users can add tasks, mark tasks as completed, and remove tasks from the list. So it's super basic. We can just use the console to log that out. We need to set up a new class, an interface. TypeScript is super type strict, so we have to kind of plan it out in our heads, right? So this shouldn't be too bad. We can knock this out. We have some, here's what to do to get started, suggestions. So I'm actually going to add one of the items here. What I'll do is I'll say if it lands on this thing, if it lands on NR, then that means that we can't get help. Not NR, but NH. So we're going to do NH. If it lands on NH, then we cannot get help from the documentation. We got to kind of do this on our own if it lands on NH. That's another way to make this a little more difficult. So, yeah, I think this is fair. Any of these three, if it lands on one of those three and it's NH, then we have to do it ourselves. Otherwise, there's this here's a plan to get you started section that we can read, and we'll be reading that if it comes down to it. So just to recap, we building a to-do list application completely in the console, just in the back end. We don't need to make a user interface. We just need to be able to add a new task, mark a task as completed, and remove a task from the list. So obviously our task itself gonna need to be what the task is and what the status of the task is. So we'll do that as well. All right, I think we're ready to spin this wheel. Let's see what kind of punishment we putting ourselves through tonight. Let's talk about what each of these mean real quick. So edit task, that means that along with being able to add and remove tasks, we also have to be able to edit existing tasks. So you can imagine a function where we pass it the like task ID, and then we give it the new updates for the task. Like maybe we want to change a few things about it. We give it a new update. Mark incomplete. So right now the thing says that all we have to do is mark task as complete. But if there's a complete task, we might want to mark it as incomplete, right? So, and then we would need some logic that says you can't mark a complete task as complete, and you can't mark an incomplete task as incomplete. So we'll have to do some trickiness there. Remove multiple just means that right now we're on the hook for being able to remove one task at a time. So I can tell you a specific task and you're on the hook to remove it. However, we should also be able to give you multiple tasks, like an array of tasks. And if I give you that, then you should be able to remove more than just one. So there's that. Add multiple is the same thing like remove. Right now we're on the hook for adding one task at a time, but this would be a way to pass an array of tasks and add multiple. And then finally, oh no, not finally. This one here is console only. I'm gonna get rid of that. Console only is implied because that's where these challenges usually go, in the console, so we're not gonna add that. And then last but not least is the hardest of the challenges. It's build a front end. So instead of this just being something we could do in the console, we would have to build a front end user interface in React that a user can supply some text to. Like let's say they click a button called add task, they get a form. That form asks them like, what is the name of your task? What's the status of your task? Etc. Like whatever the, what else would we want to know? Probably like a description, right? So it'd be like a name of the task and then a description just in case we want to display more information. So if we had to do that on the front end, it'd be a little more complicated. We have to do some state stuff. We have to make sure we keep a track of all the tasks somewhere on the display so we can get rid of it and hide it. It'd be like a little dashboard that we create. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle these up a bunch of times. All right, and that being said, let's spin it. Come on, no front end, no front end. We do not want to build the front end tonight. All right, remove multiple. That's not bad. That's not bad. So we have to remove. All right, that's fair. I'm okay with that. We have to actually add in the capability of removing more than just one of these at a time. So that's not bad. I'm totally okay with that. All right, so let's go ahead and clear this list. We'll come back to that. So if we get done with this within the hour, the agreement that I've made is if I finish one of these in less than an hour, then we move on to another one. And if I finish that one before 9 o'clock, we do one more. So we could potentially end up doing 3 of these tonight. We'll see how it goes. All right. Check here. All right. So let's dive in. I think we're ready to get started. Let's fire up a new React application, as I like to do with these. So I got my IDE here. I don't like to start from scratch. I'm a lazy developer. We're gonna use a React application, a React framework called Next.js. If you've been on my channel before, you know exactly what this is and how common it is for us. So that's kind of what I'll be doing. Let's make sure we get the right console here. We're gonna use. Not gonna use that. We're gonna use. Wait, this is it. So let's just cd. All right, let me share my screen. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, that looks really weird. 1 second, guys.
This could be good for me.
Also, the rules just came and took over, huh? Right.
When you talk to me, give me the impression that
where is it?
your surface.
Here it is.
And I could walk for days,
There we go.
searching for
Okay, that looks better. All right, so we got our ID up. We're in our home directory. We are going to do a create React app. So if we go back to our browser, we can figure out how to do that. Let's just head back to the browser real quick. And then we're going to just do Next.js. And we just want to see how to get started. There it is right there. So create next app. I want to get started with PNPM though. So let's do npm Next.js. Do they have the... No, all they have is npx. I don't know if it matters. I'm just going to use this npx command. I hope I haven't been saying which one of those I want to use. Because I am a huge PNPM fan now, so... Yeah, we'll install that. So the name of our project is going to be To-Do List. Actually, I want that to be case sensitive, so... Oh, no, never mind. It's lowercase. There we go. Will we like to use TypeScript? Absolutely. ESLint? Absolutely. Tailwind? Absolutely. Yep. I think all of the defaults are fine for this. Yep. So we should be good there. Where's...
stuck in your gaze. How can I get out? I'm out of time to make you mine. Baby, show me how. Will I slowly lose my mind?
I feel like I'm always neglecting all the other socials because I'm only on Twitch. But shout out to all my people on YouTube and my person on Facebook, whoever you are. Shout out to you. All right, so that looked like it finished successfully. Let's go ahead and check out our directory here. And we put it in the wrong... Let's just move it. We put it in the wrong place. It needs to go under sites. So there it is. So let's cd into sites, ls, and where is it? Where is it? All right, to-do list. Let's change directory into to-do list. Is that too small? That might be too small. Go up one. There we go. That might be big. All right, so we're in the to-do list directory. Let's open this in a new folder of its own. I shouldn't have to do that. Oh, that's annoying. Bye. There we go. Alright, and then now I should be able to... Alright, cool. I'll close that. Let's get the right one open, baby. That's gonna be, there we go. All right. Okay, so that's our to-do list app. Make it nice and big. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's scope this out a little bit, right? What are we on the hook for? So the goal is to make a to-do list, and let's update our challenge, right? We know what our Wheel of Misfortune challenge is. Let's go ahead and update that. The challenge is add multiple tasks, right? So that looks crazy. Let's put that in the middle. Oh, that's fine. All right. So we need to add multiple tasks. So the first thing we need to do, if I was thinking about this as a architect, right? First thing I need to do is I need to create like a task object type. So create task object type. And we'll say our task can consist of a name, a description, and a status, right? We need to know whether it's a completed task or an incomplete task. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. Once we got our task in place, I think we can start fleshing out our class, right? So it's create task manager is what we'll call it, manager class. And this class needs to be responsible for, we need to be able to add a single task, right? And then we need to be able to add multiple tasks. We need to be able to remove a task, a single task. We don't need to be able to remove multiple tasks. That was not a part of the challenge. And then we need to be able to display all tasks. And what else? What else? I think that's it. I think that's all of the criteria, right? We be solving for everything, I think. So what else do we need to do? Yeah, I think that's it. Once we have this built, we can actually start using the system, right? We can start using our code. So I'm gonna cut this out of this empty file, and we'll start a new file. We won't put it here. We'll actually add a new. We'll add a new folder called components. Okay, and then this will be our first component. Will be a should we call it like to-do list? Yeah. To-do list. .ts. Right. So this should be fine. This should be fine. So let's paste in our requirements and let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do, since we all watched that TypeScript video, first thing we're gonna do is create our interface. So let's start with that. Let's go ahead and create the interface. Call this a task. This is going to be the type of thing that we have here, and it'll have a string of name, a string of description, and a string of. Let's not just do a simple string for status though, right? We want to be a little more restrictive on this one. So let's say that status can be either incomplete, or we'll use the union operator to say it could be complete. Right, so the status would be it is complete or it is incomplete, right? Status is a current state. Is it an adverb? Oh, adjective. All right. Huh. So I guess to make something complete, though, would it become a verb? All right, I don't know. I'm thinking too much into this. All right, let's get back to it. So we got our interface, and now we can actually use this in our class, right? So let's think about this. Let's actually just scaffold this out real quick, and we'll export this in the end. But for now, we're just testing this locally. So we do want an array of tasks. So let's actually set that up first, because this is what we'll be using to manage the task system, right? This kind of local task variable. And it will be an array of tasks. So the type here, right? That's what we're doing when we say colon space. It's an array of these, right? So you can have a bunch of these in here. And by default, it'll be empty, right? So after that, wow, this is, yeah, this is actually exactly what we want to do, right? So if you give me a task object, then I want to push you into the stack, right? The task array. So I'm going to say this.task.push whatever the task is that you pass me. So let's go ahead and make sure that works. Let's start off with just our, let's create a new const. Yep, exactly this. This is why I love this system. Let's make another const that's like, let's just do add task. Let's just add task right away, right? So let's do dot add, sorry, not const, but let's say to-do list dot add task. And that's not how it'll work. It'll be an object. And yeah, there we go, right? It needs object, a status object. So now if I were to, so the one thing I'm missing right now is I don't have a way to display the tasks. So let's do that. Let's do that next. Let's say, display task, all tasks. And then let's actually comment this here. Let's say add a new task here. So then we'll say display, and then you should add full stops to all of your doc blocks. Let's do that. So then here we'll make a new method called display tasks. And what this will do is it'll be like log to the screen tasks space. Okay, and we can probably do this in JSX. I mean, not JSX, but template literals. Yeah, let's try and do this with template literals real quick. That'll be a nice little challenge. So we're going to try and log, let's say tasks, enter, and then here, so hang on, let's actually make this even cleaner, right? So really what it's going to be is going to be like tasks, that, and then it'll be like task 1, boom, and then description, and then status. Let's just say that's the structure. Okay, so if that's the structure, then the next thing we can do is we can actually start writing for that, right? So if I wanted to say the text that I get in here is this, right? So I'll just actually put that in template literals as well. However, what this really is some JS first. Yeah. So let's do, yeah, wow. That's kind of exactly what I want, right? So I want to map over this.task array, and I want to return the string literal of dash task name colon, right? Task description space open parentheses, and then I just want to put my status in there and close the parenthesis. Okay, and I do need this last that, and then I'll return it on that. So let's see if this works for one task. Okay, let's just see if this works. So we didn't get anything to run. Oh wait, I actually have to add the display. So we'll do to-do list. To-do list.display tasks. And this is just a standalone method. It runs without anything else. So now if I run this, there we go. So we have somewhat, that looks okay. It's a little weird the way it's spaced. Let's fix the spacing. This actually needs to start there. Let's rerun this and make sure we got our spacing correct. All right, so we got our one task in here. If we make this a little bigger, we can see it all on one line. Let's add more tasks here. Let's add like 3 tasks, right? So we'll say task number 1 is actually going to be to create the plan for the work for class, I'll say. And then task number 2 is to create the interface. And obviously these are tasks for this actual project that we're doing right now. So, and then task number 3 is, let's say this is a task. Now, task number 3 would be adding and displaying tasks. Okay, and then I'm actually going to add a task number 4 because this is actually kind of cool. This is the stuff that we have to do for this project. And it's going to say adding multiple tasks, right? Because that's another one that we have to do. So first, let's update our statuses. We know these 2 are complete. Okay, and then for task 3, it is also complete. And then task 4 is incomplete. So let's make sure that looks good. Let's go ahead and dump that. And we have them all. However, they look really awkward. That may be because of my spacing somewhere. That's odd. So I wonder if what I should do, because I think it has something to do with where this is starting now. So I'm actually going to go back there, and let's run that now. Alright, so it's almost right, but this first one is not showing up where it should, which I don't really love. So let's try and fix that. Let's see if we can fix that. I wonder if we actually need this new line join. I'm actually not sure about that new line join. We might not need it. Oh, snaps. Yes, we do. We need it unless we add a literal new line character. Like, I think if we do that, it'll do it by itself. Yeah, but that sucks, right? And it's putting, yeah, I like the join better. And I think we're, yeah, this is, what's it called, doing these spaces for us. That, Prettier is the name of it. It's an add-on, and it is really kind of getting in the way, but that's okay. Alright, so the spacing is a little off. I think it's going to have to stay this way for a minute. Let me just see one thing. I think if I do this and save it, it's going to fix it anyway. So close. Alright, let me see where that takes us. If that fixes it, I'm going to be a little upset. Alright. I think I broke something different, though. I don't know what this song is, but I'm loving it. Like, it's actually kind of awesome. This song kind of rules. Alright, I think that'll do it. Like, how many do I need? 2, 3? Maybe 4? Alright, one more. Alright, I think we got it. I think that's it. Okay, cool. So now we have our display. Okay, I'm going to collapse that because that looks awful. That display looks wild and crazy. I hate it. Alright, so we got that. Next thing we need to do is the challenge, the add multiple. So we got the ability to add one, and in some way we need to figure out how to... Here's what I would want to do. If this was my program, right? What I would want to be able to do is pass this program and add task array, and depending on whether it's an array or a single object would dictate like how I proceed. I don't want you to always pass me an array if all you have is one object. So what I probably need to do is like, the easiest thing to do would probably be an add tasks, right? And then that way I can just say it accepts an object of content, like an object of tasks. I mean, an array of tasks, objects. Or I can keep add task and do some kind of test here, right? To be like, this can either be a single task or an array of tasks. It could be either one of those things. And then up here, I could be like, if, yeah, like this, right? If, yeah, basically something like this. If it's an array of tasks, then, no, I do want to keep these separate. You know why? For cleanliness. I think it's going to be a lot cleaner if I keep these separate. So if I say, and then I say add tasks, right? And then I do this. So I still want to call this guy. I want to be like add single task. And then, so here, first I want to, all right, hang on. We are kind of speed running this. The first thing I would want to do is iterate over my tasks array, right? So I'm going to be like task plural dot map. Yep. And then here, what I want to do is I want to say this, okay? So now this is going to allow me to send in an array of these. So now I could say, whenever you use add task plural, the assumption is that there's an array of these. However, if I wanted to, I can say that the only method that's public is this add tasks plural. And then what I could say is this one becomes an or statement. It could either be that or a single task. And if that's the case, I need to do a check for it, right? So what I need to do is be like, if so it's like this, but it's not. I don't need all of this, right? So if it's an array, then I want to do what I have down here, right? So if it's an array, I want to add it one by one. Otherwise, I just want to add one, okay? And you'll notice that I still do have this add task, but I don't need that anymore. I can actually get rid of add task singular because add task plural is doing the same thing, right? So the only difference is now I'm pushing this multiple times versus just a single time. All right, so all we'll have is add tasks, and then how we'll test that right now is we'll do add tasks on all of these. So let's update all of these to become add task plural, and then when I save that, the errors go away. So that's the first sign that we're doing something right. And then the second thing I want to do is see if it still displays correctly. So I'm going to play that. And so far, so good. So now, instead of having to write this 4 times, I should be able to move these tasks into a single array of objects called maybe called new tasks. Okay, and new tasks is an array of tasks, right? And it's going to be equal to an array of objects, right? And the objects that it's going to be equal to is all of these. So that's 1. That's 2. It's 3. And finally, oh snaps. Finally, that's 4. Okay. So now we have 4 tasks here, and all we have to do now is pass in new tasks. Because one of the types that we accept in that add task function is an array of task objects. And that's what we've done, right? So that looks good. This would fail if these were not properly formatted. Like if I were to try and go in and say, hello world, we get an error here because this contract, the task contract that we created here, does not say you're allowed to add a key of world, right? So that's gonna fail. So all right, so let's just run this and see if it works. So we pass 1 object of task here, new tasks, pass that back to add task, and then we display them. Let's see if that works. And it still works. Okay, so we're able to add multiple tasks. Woo! All right, let me get the cheers in. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, you were far too kind. What time is it? 7:40. So it took us 20 minutes to do that. Let me go back to the drawing board and make sure that we have covered all of the challenge requirements. Go back to our browser here. So define interfaces to represent the structure of a task. We did that. Implement a class to manage the to-do list. The class should have methods to add tasks, mark tasks as completed. Oh, remove tasks. We have not done remove tasks yet. So you should be able to remove individual tasks from the list. Let's take care of that real quick. So how will we do that? Like we got a way to add tasks, but how will we like remove a task from the list? So let's think about that. Basically removing a task from the list, right? We don't have any IDs on these tasks either. So, like all we know about these tasks is the number. We know that it's called task 1. So maybe what we should do is instead of giving it a number, let's just give it a name. Instead of giving it like a name of task, whatever, let's just give it a number. So what we'll do, let's go back to VS Code. So all right, I just realized I was explaining that weirdly. So what I was saying though, while y'all was on the browser and I was in the code, I was saying we need to remove tasks now, right? But the only thing we know about each of these individual tasks is they have unique like task names, but that ain't got to be unique. So I want to use something different, something that most likely in a web app you would use, and that would be ID, and like auto incrementing numeric ID. So instead of this being a string, I want this to be a number, and for these, instead of it being name, I want it to be ID. And then what I want to do is change all of these to ID. And then I'm just going to change these to their numerical representation, right? So that's 2. This is going to be 3. This is going to be 4. All right, that's cool. So now that still works. Everything should work as expected, but now it's going to be much easier to target these for deletion. So like, how should we do that though? How should we delete these? We could be like I think there's a way to say like unset from array. Like maybe using array find. I think the easiest thing to do is a callback on the filter. Let's look that up real quick. Let's find out the easiest way to remove a specific. No, this is a class though, right? So we can't just treat this like a dedicated. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have to use filter, I think. I think that's our best bet. So let's say remove task. This is singular. Remember, we don't have to do this on remove existing task. And we'll just call this function remove task. And then yeah, damn, they just had it up there for me. So this is kind of what I would want to do, honestly. Like, this is probably the easy way to go, is let me pass you a whole task object, and then you just remove that if you find a match in your system. But I feel kind of like that's asking a lot of a system. Because normally what would happen is if somebody's requesting for a task to be deleted, they wouldn't be sending you real live tasks. They'll be sending you IDs so that you can then get a batch of IDs and just by lookup, remove the ones from the list. You know what I mean? It'll be a little easier than putting the like responsibility of our downstream systems, putting the responsibility of them to construct full-blown task objects. That don't make sense. So what we'll do instead is we'll do ID number. So this function takes a number, and see, that's why I love it, man. Tab 9 for the win, man. My boy Mateo put me on. That thing has changed my life, yo. All right, but this is kind of what we want to do, right? So basically what this is saying is like, I want to redefine the task array. I want to redefine it. And the way this filter callback works is whenever this is evaluated to true, then that item in the array comes back to my original. So in this case, right, the filter goes through each individual task in my task array, right? So that's here. It's going to go through each one of those individually. And it's going to be like, okay, is this the ID that you said you wanted to remove? Oh, this isn't the ID you want to remove? Well, then hold on to that. And then it's going to go to the next one. Is this the ID you wanted to remove? It's not? Hold on to that. And then finally, eventually, it'll get to the ID you wanted to remove. And it'll be like, okay, don't send that back. And then it'll keep going. And then at the end of the iteration, at the end of the loop, what you'll have back is everything but your ID. That's the only thing you won't have. Okay, so we're going to take this for a spin. I think this is working the way it is right now. I think this is actually correct. We do have an error somewhere. I don't know where. See where the error is. I don't see an error. Is it in here? Oh, yeah. Okay, so this needs to be task.id now. And then we'll still keep the word task in there because I think that looked good. But this should be good. Let's just run this now to make sure that all of our ID stuff didn't break anything, and it didn't. We still have task 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we were to get rid of the word task here and run this now, we just get 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of the word task. Which task lists don't usually declare the word task, so I'm gonna get rid of that label altogether. I'm just gonna number these. I'm actually gonna get rid of the dashes too. That doesn't look right. What you would normally see is a number followed by a dot. Right, and then sometimes you might see this. You might see this. Whoops. You might see this in a lot of cases. So, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, or other times you might see dot. I like percent parenthesis right now. I'm gonna keep this close parenthesis. And then we have our statuses, right? All right, so. Now, let's say we want to remove number 3. So if we did this correctly, we should be able to, we'll say this is going to be console dot log. This will be our before. And then we'll do one more that's console.log. And then this will be our after. All right, and then in between here, we'll do to-do list dot remove task, and we're gonna say remove number, the one with ID number 3. All right, so at first we should see 4, then afterwards we should only see 3. Let's go ahead and run that. All right, we got an error. That type to module. We shouldn't have to do that. I didn't do anything that requires that. Am I exporting something? Wait, where did I have the word export? Oh, I think this is bugging. It's not. That's kind of weird. It's arguable too that we would want to send a whole task here. I just don't see me using that to delete a record. It just doesn't make sense. Oh, this is the problem. This import statement at the top. All right. That was there because I used the word capital console and it wanted to help me out. All right, so we got it. All right, so now let's play this back. See, in this first one, before we have all 4 tasks, and then we remove number 3, so now we only have 3 tasks. So remove is also working correctly. We can move on to the very last thing, which is to mark a task as complete, right? So basically the way this needs to work is we need to be able to say that if the task doesn't exist, then if the task doesn't exist, then you shouldn't be able to mark it as complete. If the task is already complete, you shouldn't be able to mark it as complete either. So we'll need to kind of do some checking to make sure that that isn't happening. So let's do that. Oh, thanks for the follow. Sumarai, what? Samaru, BDF. What's good? Hold on. We said what we was going to do whenever we get a new follow, y'all. Ayo. Samaru, BDF. Hold on. I got you. I got something special for you. Every time a new streamer joins, a new person joins the coding gym, we gotta show them some love real quick. So hold on. Let me show you some love. Gotta show you some love. 1 second. I gotta get faster at the love showing, man. I got you, man. Let's go. Let's go. Always good to see a new. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. In the building. In the building. It's all you. It's all you. Okay, it's all you. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, listen, since you're new here, I got to ask you some questions, man. I got to ask you some questions. First off, do you understand any coding languages? He said it's all us, bro. Hey, it's going good, man. It's going good. Writing this code, trying to teach the real how to get some of this tech money. All right, he said. Okay, they said they do. Sorry for gendering you, man. I'm gonna say they said until you tell me what your pronouns are. But first question for you. What's your favorite programming language? What's your favorite language to program in? I gotta put you on the spot. Don't matter, but much love, much love, much love. Samaru, showing the love in the chat. What's up? Favorite programming language? He said, oh, you gonna judge me, but it's Java. Oh, we got another Java night in the building. Let's go. We got another Java night in the building. Hey, and he don't mean JavaScript, okay? Careful, careful. That's not JavaScript he's referring to, okay? Let's go. JavaScript is Java is one of the strongest languages. It's actually the first language I ever coded in using Eclipse back in the day. Really, really good stuff. It was my computer science class in college. That was how they taught it. My first ever language was actually C sharp, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just using it to build a private server for this game that I was hacking. But when I went to college, I used C. All right, next question. Next question. When I went to college, I used Java, but it's not about me. It's about Samaru right now. We gotta ask this next question. I'm on programming for like 2 years. I don't know. All right, what's your least favorite programming language? Least favorite. If Java is your number one, what's your least favorite programming language? And you gotta say why. You can't just throw a language out there without saying this is why I hate it so much. Must be C. Ugh. Man, we are like-minded. We are like-minded. Okay, I hate C too. What you hate about C? What you hate about C the most? What you hate about C the most? I don't know. I have no idea. People used to call it recreational software. My worst thing about C is that it's really specific. Like it makes it extremely hard to learn because it's like a lot of things in C is just in C. Like it's just is you have to do all these extra things because it's C. Like that's one of my biggest pet peeves about it, and I think that's why C++ kind of like kicked it to the exactly over. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. We appreciate that. You need to make everything to exactly, dude. It's like one of the worst, like unintuitive languages ever, man. So how you doing today, man? How your day been? You know what's going on with you in your day to day. All right, so we're gonna create this mark task as complete method. This shouldn't be too bad. I think all we need to do here is we need to do some conditional logic, right? We need to be like, we need to check and see whether this task exists in the system, and we need to check whether this task is already marked as complete or not. So this might be one that actually, here's what we'll do. First thing we'll do is we'll create a local version. So hold on, let's do it. Mark task as completed. Okay, and then here we'll say we just want an ID, right? So then the first thing we're gonna do is like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna do const as chilling with a soup. What kind of soup you got? Yo, I used to eat these Panera soups that were so good, but I've been like on this keto craziness, so I can't do carbs really. But I used to be really crazy about these Panera soups that they sell at like Jewel Osco and like I guess Piggly Wiggly for people that live in those places. Cooked cornmeal kind of soup. Oh, that's a little different. That's definitely different. Kind of just blew my little Panera thing out the water. He said, "I feel you, Holy. Those are good. Yes, those are amazing. If you haven't had them, I really, really encourage you to grab you some of those." All right, so let's see if we can knock this task out real quick. I want to see what So let's get back to it. So what we were gonna do is just say we were gonna in this method in this mark task as completed scope, right? We want to create our own local copy of task, and then I think that way. Let's see if this will work. Let's see. I don't think we need to return anything, by the way. I think we could just say const task is equal to this dot, and then we can actually be real type specific on this too. this dot find. No, it's gonna be this dot task dot find, right? And then what this is gonna do is allow us to go looking through. This allow us to look through the array until we find this. I think it's equals ID. Yeah. Maybe. Wait, can I not do this? Oh no, that's all. It's just never read. All right. So then here I can be like if task and task dot status. Wait, what is it not like about this? Oh, because it might not find it, so I can't do this. So I would have to say or undefined here, right? Because we saying that it could be either or, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so now we saying that if you hit a bingo on this, right? The way find works is if you hit a bingo on this, then it'll immediately stop iterating over your array and just return to you back that object. And remember, one of the things we learned in the ES6 and TypeScript lessons was that we are able to change the properties of an object along the way, right? So in here, in theory, since I'm actively in the this.task array, I think I can just change it from here, right? So if the status is not equal to which one? If it's not equal to complete already, which means it's either undefined or actually I think a better check. No, this is fine. Because there's only two options for this, right? Or else it's an incomplete, an invalid object. You can only be complete or incomplete. So we're gonna say if it's not complete, then we're just gonna simply set the status to complete. Right? All right, and that should literally be it. That should be it. All right, so now what we'll do, whoops. We'll go ahead and save this. Now let's come down here. Let's say, let's clear this out. Let's make this a little bigger. So now we don't need to do the remove tasks and stuff like that anymore. Let's just do, actually we will keep the before and after, because what we'll say is this is what it looked like originally, but then now instead of doing the remove task, we'll say mark task as complete, and let's say we want to do that for number 4. So that's the only one that's incomplete here. So we'll go ahead and save that. When we spit that out, you can see originally it's incomplete and then it becomes complete. Done. Another one I want to do is mark all as complete, or mark all as incomplete. I think that's worth doing because that's easy enough. So let's say mark all as complete, and then mark all as incomplete. And these are basically going to do the same thing. Mark all as complete. Wow. And this is the power of tab 9. If you want to know how I'm getting these answers, you need to guarantee it actually exists. Yeah, where at? Wait, are you saying that I already did that, or tab 9, bro? I'm telling you, it changes lives, bro. It changes lives, okay? I just talked about I needed that, but because like it interpret the way tab 9 work is AI basically. It's like ChatGPT for code. So it's been ever since we started typing in this file, it's been reading what I've been doing and learning like what I might be most likely trying to code. So when I write code like this, that's like, here's how you mark one thing as completed. It assumes that in some instances I might want to do what I just said, right? Mark everything as completed, right? So then if I go do this, it's probably going to, look at that. I knew it was going to write that one for me. And I just hit tab, boom. Yeah, it's like, yep, it's like Copilot. Yeah, it's exactly like Copilot. Yeah, you get the,
Oh my God!
see it, brother? I'm telling you, it's a game changer, bro. It is a game changer. Ex Machina. Let's go. It is, man. It is, yo. It is. So we gonna flip flop between these real quick. Let's do a before. So let's say we're gonna mark all. So let's just do a before, and then we'll do we'll mark all as completed. So we'll say mark all as completed. Well, actually, we should change that. Mark all tasks as completed. And then we'll do, that doesn't need a property. And then we'll say after one, after all completed. And then we'll do another round of displays. Get rid of this now. Well, we'll say mark all as incomplete. And that's just going to be incomplete. So let's do that here. All right. Spelling error. Okay, so after all incompleted. So now what I would expect to see is our original list, which is 3 complete and 1 incomplete. We'll go ahead and change one more to incomplete just to make sure that's working as expected. So we should get number 1 is complete, 2 is incomplete, 3 is incomplete. I mean, 3 is complete, 4 is incomplete. Then we should get all completed, then all incomplete. That should be our expected output. That ran pretty quick. Here we have complete, incomplete, complete, incomplete. That's good. Here we have all complete, all good, all incomplete, all good. And that is it. We have officially solved our first challenge of the night, the task list. We didn't have any challenges for front end rendering, thank God. So we don't have to worry about that. Let's head back over to GitHub and see what the next challenge of the night is. What time do we got? Yep, it's before 9, so we got to do one more. Let's see which one of these we want to do. Oh, the next one is actually kind of godlike. I love this next one. The next one is called the online bookstore. All right, so let's understand what the challenge is. And this one is advanced, okay? So this one gonna be a lot harder. And we, on top of that, we got the wheel of misfortune that we're gonna have to worry about. So we gotta figure that out. Let's fix this. Looks like we got some, there we go. Actually, this need to go back to being question marks because we are done with challenge number. I don't even think that was challenge number 4. I forgot to change that. That was actually challenge number 1, but we on challenge number 2 now, which is the bookstore. I think it's just called online bookstore. All right. Want that repo link? Hey, it's public, man. Go ahead, smash that like and subscribe button, man. Get your challenge on. Let me go ahead and pop this in the chat. Anybody interested in this repo? If y'all want to follow along, you know, hit that up. I promise the challenges are not hard. All right, so we developing an online bookstore application using TypeScript where users can browse books and add them to their cart and check out. Yo, that's kind of crazy. Are we doing anything where we paying for these too? So the requirements are define interfaces to represent the structure of a book, including things like title, author, price, and the number of books. So probably how many we got in our inventory, I guess. Implement a class named Bookstore to manage the inventory. Yep. The class should have methods to add books, remove books, search for books by title or author. Nice. And display every book. And then create a shopping cart functionality where people can buy books, remove books, and calculate the total price. You gonna do it with me? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, y'all. It's one of the best ads we had in a while, y'all. Subaru said he gonna do it with us, bro. Let's see if he can knock it out. However, Subaru, I forgot to inform you on something. Last week we implemented this thing called the Wheel of Misfortune. Okay, so challenges are never as easy as they seem. So before we get into the Wheel of Misfortune, I gotta come up with, on the side here, I got a sticky note where I'm coming up with things that'll make this a little easier for me, or things that could make this a little hard for me. So I'm gonna allow you to just do it the normal way if you want to. But remember, this is already an advanced task. So being able to do this means that you know your stuff. However, I'm gonna put a spin on it that's gonna make it a little tricky. So let me just figure out what that need to be. I'm trying to think of a way to make it hard that's not too crazy. So, bear with me. Give me a second. Let me just think about it. I feel like this one is already hard enough. Like, so we already on the hook for creating a shopping cart. We already on the hook for calculating the total price. Oh, you know what would be dope? You know what would be dope is if what if we added the ability to what if we had to add the ability to provide a discount? Okay, so that's gonna be one of them. And let's see, what are we on the hook for as far as removing books? So I guess we could say like instead of just adding one book, add multiple books instead of adding. Yeah, so let's say manage multiple is going to be another one where we would have to manage multiple books. And let's say calculate before and after. So what that means is that means that we would be on the hook for the discount and being able to calculate what the total cost was before the discount and what the total cost would be after the discount. Oh, I know, I got a good one. Let's do a recommended. So basically, if somebody searched for a book that's out of stock, then we would be on the hook for recommending another book of that type. So we usually get 5 of these. We need one more challenge, y'all. One more challenge. How can we do this? All right, let's do something that make it easier because all of these so far makes it harder. So let's say the challenge to make it easier could be maybe the challenge to make it easier is like no shopping cart. So no shopping component. So literally it's just now you're doing an online bookstore with inventory, but no shopping cart. All right, so that seemed good. That seemed good. All right, and then to make these a little, so one more thing for you, Samari. One more thing. So for all of these challenges on the GitHub, right? You could read this, but how we making this a little more complicated is we don't read the plan to get started if we land on a challenge that has NH, which means no help. So if you see any item with NH, that just means that we were not allowed to get help from the system. So I'm gonna actually just put an asterisk. So calculate before and after, probably shouldn't get help for that. And then I would say we shouldn't get help for the recommended either. No, we definitely shouldn't get help for the no. Yeah, let's not get help for the no. Yeah, this one here. All right, so I think that if it lands on, no, let's only choose 2. We'll say we don't get help for these 2. All right, so I think we good as long as we don't land on before and after. I think I'll be good to complete that in an hour. Or as long as I don't land on manage, I mean the recommended. Recommended is gonna be really tricky. Because we're gonna have to, basically every book gonna have to have a genre attached to it. And then in the inventory, if it come up blank, we're gonna have to have like a suggestions object somewhere. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. So let's vote that we don't get those. Let's shuffle this list up nice and crazy. All right, you want to add anything to this, Amari? Before we, you got any challenges you want me to add before I click the wheel here? I give you one. I give you 1 or 2 to add to the list if you want. I don't mind that. If you got any in mind, let me know before I hit the wheel of misfortune here. Go ahead and change this to our question marks. Know what this gonna be yet? All right. All right, I'm just trying to delete. Okay, all right, let's do it. Let's do it, y'all. All right, wish me luck. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. No! 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 Oh my my god, I want that. Just my luck. Uh, that's gonna be tough, yo. Alright. He said, nah. You gotta be kidding me. Got hit with the worst one. Good Lord is right. Alright. So we know what we on the hook for. That is gonna be tricky. Alright. Recommended for you. Call that. Okay. Alright. We got it. We got it. We gotta take this one slow, okay? This is already gonna be complicated enough with the shopping cart component. I think that makes this really difficult. Alright, let's scope it out. Let's take it slowly. Let's just go ahead and knock this out. So we are going to get rid of our bookstore, our to-do list, and move over to our bookstore. I'm gonna set up a new app for this so we can, I wanna contribute this to-do list, completed to-do list code to the code base at some point, so I will. Alright, get rid of this for now, get rid of that. We will actually, let's open the terminal back up. We'll say AD there, and then NPX. I always forget the. There we go. Okay. All right, and then this is going to be called Online Bookstore. So all we're doing there is we creating a new. We're using the create new component command from from Next.js. Not create new component, the create new React app. They have like a next version of a React app. So it's like create React, but it's create next, because Next.js is just like an extension of React. So I'm gonna put that in the Twitch chat just in case you want that command. But yeah, we're gonna be running that, and then that looks good. Dang. Hey, at least keep it exciting. Alright, do we want to use TypeScript? Yes. ESLint? Yes. CSS? Yes. Where is my tunes? I can't do this without tunes. Can't do this without tunes. Okay. Is it just me? Oh, I hear it now. Like, it is this. Okay, so when I was crying in despair about getting that bad luck. Okay, so yes, we want the source directory. Yes, we want app router. Import alias. No, so I don't want to customize it. I want to keep it normal. All right, so we got our new app coming up. Alright, so I am gonna do code dot slash actually just code online bookstore. I'll go ahead and close this one out. Now we'll put that here. Alright. Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. Alright, so there's our terminal. We don't need that yet. Get a new note document. Actually, let's go straight into the component building, since we know we won't need a front end for this. Actually call that components, and we'll create a new file, and we'll call this online bookstore.ts. all right, so let's think about this like we did the last one. Let's take our time and think about it. What are we on the hook for? So the first thing they want us to do is to create like a book type, right? Because these are what we're going to be passing around to the different methods are books. So we need to create a book content type, and it needs to have a title, an author, a price, and then the number of them, right? The quantity, the number of them that we have in the inventory, right? because we're the store uh, in this example, right? This is a client came to us. They say, "Hey, Junkie, we really love what you do on the keyboard. We want you to build us an application because we're a bookseller and we want you to sell books. But it has to be a super fast, low overhead React application." So now we're building them an online store. So we do need to capture quantity. Once we get that put together, I think we're now on the hook for two big parts of the class, right? The first part is the actual bookstore class. So like the place where we'll be doing the searches, removing the books, keeping up with our inventory. So we're going to say create book store class. All right, and then this needs to have methods like search by, I think one of them was title or author, adding / removing books, displaying all inventory. That was another criteria. All right, I think that's good. And then the next one I think we're on the hook for is we need a storefront, right? We need, like, what do they call it on Amazon? The little thing you put all your items in and then you check out your cart. We need a cart with bookcases. Basically, we need bookcases. Okay. Oh man, my friends are getting lit right now. Having a good old grand time out there. Oh yeah, they having a good old time. This man is wearing a pinstripe blazer. This man's wearing a pinstripe blazer, okay? All right, I like bookcases. Do you want to call our cart bookcases or shopping cart? What you want to do? I think most sites today call them shopping carts, but I'm down with bookcases if you want to use bookcases. I'm gonna go with bookcases. Or a bookshelf. How about that? No, but that's not really what we need though. Like bookshelf would be like the store, right? That's this. This is kind of our bookcase. So we actually do need like a shopping cart. I think I'm gonna have to call it a shopping cart. I'm gonna have to call it a shopping cart, bro. Maybe the book cart? How about we meet in the middle? I call it book cart. All right, there you go. So we gonna meet in the middle on that, okay? Cart is way better, to be honest. All right, we're just going shopping cart. We're going shopping cart. All right, so we're gonna create a shopping cart class, and this one need to be able to do like our regular transaction stuff, right? So definitely calculating total, right? We weren't on the hook for the discount, so we ain't got to do the discount, but we got to be able to add items, remove items, right? Just the normal stuff. And then checkout. You got to eventually be able to check somebody out, meaning that they have completely finished purchasing their items and everything that was in a cart is now gone, right? So checkout. All right, and then last but not least, the hardest thing we're on the hook for, okay? The hardest thing we're on the hook for is going to be the create reference. I mean, not reference, but recommendation. I don't know if this needs to be a class. I'm just gonna say create recommendation feature, because really the way this will work, I think what we'll do is we'll So, all right, let's pretend for a second that we have an inventory of books, right? Let's say we have an inventory of books and somebody has a certain book in their inventory. Actually, no, we'll figure out the recommendation feature when we get to it. I'm still not sure how we're going to do it yet. We're going to have to, all right, I see you when we get back. We're going to have to figure that out. Man, that's going to be tough. All right, hang on. One thing. I'm not really gone, y'all, if y'all wondering. I'm just up looking for something right now, so I had to get off the camera. Hang on, be right back.
Have you ever had the feeling that like there's no hope anymore, and then
Alright, I'm back.
in your life
I'm back.
light it up, or more like
They out there having a grand old time. Oh, let me switch this back to the IDE.
reason why
All right.
this song.
I heard you calling, I saw your sleepless face and I fell hard. I guess I'm falling for you, girl. I can reach the stars.
Oh, thank you.
Nights we couldn't sleep, I was there carrying my gun, shooting at the demons.
All right, let's get started, y'all. Let's get started. The first thing we'll do is let's build our book, and we need a genre here too, right? We need the genre because we are now on the hook for a recommendation, and the only way to do that is to be like, out of all the books that we do have in stock, based on what you just tried to get, we think you should get this one instead, right? I guess that's what we could do for that, and that works. That should be totally fine. Oh, needed to restart because you ain't have Node. Oh man, hey, what programming language do you use right now, Samaru? Or Sumeru? Am I saying that right, Sumeru? Hopefully, I'm not butchering your name, because I am. I like to call myself a good pronouncer of names. All right. So it sounds like I nailed it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to find out from Sumeru here what language. I mean, what do you normally code in like today? Are you only strictly Java, or do you normally, like, for my day-to-day work, I normally use like a bunch of different languages. Honestly, right now it's a lot of PHP, some JavaScript, but yeah. So I use the stream time. Oh, TypeScript. Nice, love it. So you actually, this is gonna be a breeze for you. Like, we should switch seats. I'm about to get Sumeru to come stream, y'all. Already doing all this, yo. That's what's up. All right, let's fix this real quick. That look kind of janky. All right, that looks a little better. There we go. Alright, just wanted to clean that up. Okay. Alright, I'm ready. Y'all ready? You ready, Sumeru? Let's get it. First thing we're going to do, let's create our book object. Start from the beginning, work our way through until we see an actual content. So, we'll do an interface of, just call it book. And then we'll have a title, of course. We'll have the author, which is a string. And I'm waiting for a second because every now and then tab 9 is actually right about what the next thing is that I want. And all they're doing right now is they already listened to my doc blocks, my comment blocks. So since they see the comment blocks has this kind of breakdown of the book content type, and I have an interface right below it, they're like, oh, do you want quantity next? Because that's a number if you do. So, all right, that was easy. That was actually not bad at all. So the next thing we need to do is create a bookstore class. So let's do that. And it doesn't extend anything. We could if we wanted to, but we're not doing anything like that. So the first thing we want to do is actually... So a bookstore, what would be the main meat and potatoes of a bookstore? It would be the inventory, right? So I actually like calling it books. Yeah, I'll stick with books on this. I like the word books on that. So that'll be our inventory. Type error dev, what up? Uh-oh, we got to show you the love. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, chat. We got a new chatter in the squad. We got to show them some love. Y'all know how we do. Let me show them some love real quick. Hold on, y'all know what's up. I got to show them some love, okay? What's the name? Type error dev. We got you. Welcome to the squad. Hold on. We gonna do you just like we did Sumeru, okay? Hold on, give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay, this how we say welcome to the squad. This how we say welcome to the squad, yo. Yo, what's good? What's good? And we got the follow. And we got the follow. Let's go. In the building. It's fire. It's fire. Welcome to the party, man. Welcome to the party. Let's go. Let's go. We writing some code. All right, I'm going to hit you with the questions that everybody else get hit with when they first time chatter. First question is, do you write code? Do you code right now? I imagine since your name, type error dev. Oh, appreciate you. You see the name, obviously. They say, do you see the name? All right, second question, okay? It's only 3. It ain't that many. Second question, what is your most favorite programming language and why? What's your favorite programming language and why is it your favorite? Hey, Samaru, it'll be crazy if his least favorite is the same as ours. That'd be crazy. We're gonna give him some time. Let's give him some time. Let's keep going while he think of what his favorite language is. We're gonna hit him with the rest of them. So after we do that, I think we can start banging this out now. So we know we need to be able to add I know JavaScript, but I've been getting into Python lately. Ooh, funky. You importing some Python eggs? ain't that the Python thing? Ain't it like eggs? And I say no very loosely. What you like about getting into Python? So yeah, so you probably if you just now getting into JS and you recently oh no, you're saying you know JS, so you probably don't have a favorite because you only know 2, right? One thing I'll tell you though is if you know one language, just one language, it don't matter which one it is, any language, then you basically know every language. You might have to Google some stuff, but as long as you know the basics like for loops, if statements, any kind of like variable declaration, scoping, blah blah blah. If you know those fundamentals, you can just Google the rest. Like the only thing you might miss is like syntax, like special syntax. Okay, last question for you then. Yeah, the theory of the language is fairly similar between a few languages that are, yep, that's what you'll find, man. In all of my years of development, it's always the same. The only thing I find myself having to do from time to time, now I will say this, every now and then you get a snowflake like JavaScript, and I don't know if y'all were using JavaScript back in the day, like maybe 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, but JavaScript used to be what I call like a recipe for spaghetti code because they didn't have any of this type safety strictness that we see today. They didn't even have any real consistency. If you knew the language, the JavaScript language, you could literally build it however you want. Like it used to be crazy. So all right, last question here. What is your least favorite programming language? Least favorite. All right, while you're doing that, I'm gonna create this ad book to the store. Yeah, that looks right. That looks right. TypeScript put it on the guys with yeah, you already know. I don't think. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my God!
You'll never get into Java. Oh, my heart! No! Oh, we gotta convert him, Samaru. We gotta convert him, Samaru. That we can't. Oh no! Okay, okay, wait. Keep thinking. Loading. Everything. Thank you. It's like the one language to conquer them all. It's so good. You'll love it. Anything mobile language like Kotlin, React Native, etc. Okay, I like that. I love React Native. Okay, I love React Native. I suck at React Native, but I love what it is capable of doing. So I like that. All right, you good. All right. At first, I thought Java was only uni shit and that I would never use it once I graduated. Now, yo, I was on the same boat until I actually started really digging into Java. Like, I kind of thought it was just like, I don't know. I thought it was for like really, really like sophisticated programs. That's what I thought it was just like, oh, you need to make some kind of like data tree algorithm or you need to do some like deep searching algorithms, then yeah, use Java. But I was totally wrong. You can actually create an entire like web experience using Java. You can create non-web experience, like actual compile time based applications using Java. Once I figured that out, it was like, and then how Java has access to memory, so you can do like real desktop applications with it. I'm like, yo, this is it. This is everything you need. But I only saw this from a position of I only say it's from a position of ignorance. No, first off, I think you're not ignorant if you know any one language. You have crossed the ignorant barrier, right? The ignorance barrier is behind you now, so you are no longer an ignorant developer. All right, you are one of us. You are one of us. Okay. Spring is goaded. Well, the position of unknown. Yeah, okay. You're still learning. That's what we here for. That's what the junkyard's all about, brother. We are here to grow and learn as developers. All right, this was easy, right? Adding a book is easy. Let's do its counterpart. I'm gonna do remove book. Normally, what I do is I comment these out. Yeah, it's about time to comment some stuff out. So let's we have an interface. We have the class. Let's instantiate our class, and then we'll just start logging some stuff out to make sure we didn't blow up the world, right? So let's say const bookstore. Nope, it's gonna be const bookstore bookstore. Yeah, it's equal to new bookstore. And I don't have a constructor on it. Yep, so that should be good. And then now what we want to do is say, let's just add a book. Let's just add a book, right? Bookstore dot add book, and then here we'll say, yeah, this should, look at that, yo, tab 9 is the GOAT, bro. Got a mock-up of what you're building or just freestyling? We are freestyling, man. We are freestyling. So just to bring everybody up to speed on the various channels, I see we got some people on YouTube, new people on Twitch. So we are doing challenges, and challenges, stream nights. I basically go through videos. I don't know if you see the channel, but visit the channel. You'll see some videos that teach all of these different concepts. The latest one we did was an ES6 TypeScript kind of introduction course, right? So for the next stream week, which is this week, we'll be doing challenges. And they are all freestyled, all of them, okay? And not only that, not only are they freestyle, but they come with some really cool challenges. Like, for example, the challenge today is we need to create this bookstore application. It's a fake app. Nothing's going to go anywhere with it. But we need to create it. And the challenge is we need to create a recommended for you section if ever anything in our inventory is sold out. So let's say someone went to get this Lord of the Rings book. If that book was sold out, then I need to be able to recommend them a different book. It's pretty cool. Skynet suggested Skynet. Best way to program, yes sir, yes, okay? Where the claps at? Let's get the claps in here, okay? There's no better way to program than freestyle, okay? Learn so much that way. I love it, personally. All right, let me clean up that recommended for you. That looks kind of crazy. Let's get out of studio mode. Let's say, there it is. No, it's gonna be the Wheel of Misfortune. Make that a little smaller. Alright, that doesn't look bad. Cool. That's how I'm learning, just freestyling on the keys, and when I get stuck, I start researching docs. Yo, listen, 2 places that I feel like have changed the game for developers that are researching and learning and growing. One of them is Google. You can literally Google just about anything and find the answer to anything you're stuck on. So I'm a huge fan of Google. And then ChatGPT recently has been shockingly helpful to me. Like in my real 9-to-5 job, like if I'm having an issue and I'm like really stuck on something, like can't figure it out, I get mad at, like, don't get me wrong, okay? One thing that is a really big misconception about ChatGPT is it's like a replacement for a developer. Never. You'll never be able to feed a real problem to ChatGPT and get a real solution. However, you can feed it concepts and get ideas. So you can say like, yo, I want to build a bookstore that's capable of giving me recommendations. And I want to do it in TypeScript. They'll give you the bare bones scaffolding. Like, you know, it won't be great, but as long as you're a developer that understands like the fundamentals, you can take some ChatGPT recommended code and like, oh, I didn't think about doing it that way, or oh, I didn't know about that feature in TypeScript. You know, you'll get a bunch of cool ideas. It's really awesome. Yeah, if you can prompt, that's the big thing too. That's why it kind of requires that you already know how to code, because you kind of have to prompt correctly too. All right, so I'm gonna do something real quick. I just realized that this book is the perfect introduction to our books inventory, right? So what I'm gonna do is create a object here, const book inventory, and I'm gonna say it's equal to an array of books. Do y'all see this? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do y'all see this? I might get rid of author just so I don't gotta fill in all these authors, but yo. Oh, watch this. Tab. Done. Let me get more. Give me a few more. Wait, are these all just Lord of the Ring books? Yeah, I don't like it. They all Lord of the Ring books. Alright, let's see if it'll give us some different ones. Nah, it wouldn't. But we about to get a bunch of books. They said it's God's work. Alright, hold on. Look, this is what we gonna do. We're about to go get us a bunch of books with this metadata. And then we're gonna use regex to format it into the objects we need. So the question is, do we need this right now? And the answer is no. So I'm not gonna add that right now. But let's at least test our work so far. So let's go ahead and run this. Let's just see if we did it right. All right, we probably should add a display method here. So we're missing that. So let's do display inventory. So we'll say this. Whoa, was that it? This almost is it. We're gonna see if we can do it all in template literals again. No, that was so much harder last time. So what we'll do is we'll say book inventory, right? And then on a separate line, okay, we ain't gonna make the same mistake as we did last time. We'll say this dot books dot is it for each or map? I think it doesn't matter in this case. We don't need like, I think for each is when you want to use an index, and map is just when you want to iterate over them all. I'll just use this. I think this is okay. And then what I'll do is I'll separate this out just so I can have better readability. And then here we'll say console.log book. No, not just book though, right? We want this to be really robust. So we want to be like title is title. We'll fill this in with the right variables after we've typed the whole thing out, right? So author is author. What other stuff do we have? Genre is genre, and then price and quantity. So price, and then quantity is quantity. All right, so we got that. So now let's start flipping these out. Wait, let's close this out. Just make sure we're error free here. All right, cool. So then we got title, which we know is going to be book dot title. What I'll do is I'll copy that because now we just need to change the author. Oh, I had spelled that wrong. Genre. And I'm gonna do Alt Z here. So, well, not Alt Z. What is the command to get these to wrap? On a Mac, it's Control Z. I don't have that button here. Not Control Z, but it is Control on a Mac, but not. It's like it allows you to wrap these on one line. Let me. All right. Abandon. Not gonna get caught up with that. this. Price. All right, so now we should be able to be like book store dot display inventory. Now, if we run this, we should actually see our one book. There we go, right? I'm not in love with the way I'm displaying that right now, to be honest, y'all. I'm finna fix that. That looks a little crazy to me. I'll just stack it. There we go. Alright, that should be a little better. And what I'll do just to make sure that looks good as possible. Alright, there we go. Think we good on that? Let me see. Don't reject being a medium for Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, I hate where the spacing is on that. I still haven't figured out how to fix that. I guess this would be the easiest way to fix that. All right. Yeah, that looks way better. So if we had more than one, I think what'll happen is, here, let's add ourselves one more. This time, let's let Jesus take the wheel. There we go. Thanks. Thanks, Jesus. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So when we get more than one of these, right, this would be easier to deal with. All right. So the easy stuff out of the way. Nah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. Let's get all the easy stuff done first, okay? So I don't think we need to. We can kind of speed run the rest of these easy ones, right? So we know we'll need to be able to remove a book. And that's easy, right? We just did that in the other one. We are gonna say, no, we don't want to pass full books here though. I don't like full books. What we'll say we pass is a book title. Yeah, we pass a title, and then we say this books is equal to this, and then as long as it's not equal to title, right? So whenever the book.title, whenever that's not equal, then it gets rid of it. So going back to this example, if we were to say bookstore dot remove book and then The Hobbit, all right, and then do another display here. So on initial run, we have 2 books, and then we miss, yeah, so we're able to drop. That's good. All right, what else do we need? What else do we need? Search. We need to be able to search. Search by title. Obviously, that's going to be the title string. And then this time we want to be strict about what it returns, though, right? We can't just let it return anything. So it needs to return either a book or, like, I don't know, like undefined, right? Like if it didn't find a book, it needs to at least return that. All right, and then let's see, is Typenv solving all the Rails problems for us again? Yep, that is exactly right. And if anybody's interested in this little autocomplete feature that is saving our time here, that's tab 9. It's this guy right down here, tab 9. It's a AI-based code helper. So this is search, but I mean, obviously it requires you still know the language you're getting autocomplete in, but as long as you understand the language, you'll know when to use tab versus when to like type things in yourself. So search for books by title, and then we're gonna do a search for books by author. Alright, and then all of that's good. Wait, let me undo that real quick. I didn't notice that. So instead of calling this title, we'll call this author. Okay. Alright, so that should be good. And then if we just do a bookstore search by author, not by title, because our authors don't. So, the Lord of the Rings. And this should be returning a book, so we'll have to console log it. Right? Go ahead, get rid of that, log that out, and yes, we get our book object. Woo! All right, so we are speed running this. Let's go. What's next? What do we need to do? Inventory, which we've already got that though. All right, I think we're done with our store. I think our book store is solid now. So the next thing we need to do is the second to hardest thing, right? Which is we need to create a like shopping cart experience, right? Because the idea is that we're an online store, right? So we got to sell people these books, which means we got to take care of things like adding items to the cart, removing items from the cart, calculating totals, etc. So we got prices in these books, the ones that we do have. We only have one in our inventory. We're gonna have to increase that, but for now we're just gonna keep using these static books, right? We'll do an inventory in a minute. I somehow crashed no like 3 times in a row trying to reinstall. What are you trying to reinstall? The branch that I'm using? Nah, don't reinstall the branch that I'm using. Reinstall Next.js. Oh, you're just trying to reinstall Next in general? I mean, Node.js in general? Ugh. So I'm using a Windows machine right now, but I use WSL, by the way. Right? So Windows, yeah, I use WSL. So, okay, so yeah, you have issues with Node. So I use WSL. I don't use the Windows like PowerShell or anything like that. If you on Mac, it's even easier. You can use Homebrew. Yeah, Windows 11 is a problem. That's what I got. Yeah, I had to switch to WSL. It's like a Windows something Linux. What is it? What does this stand for? I always forget. See what it stands for. But if you ain't got that, then I highly recommend you grab that. It's the true. Windows Linux distro. Yeah. Yeah, it's changed the whole game for me. Like now I don't mind developing on my Windows machine. I used to hate developing on this thing, man. I used to hate it. But now I genuinely don't mind. I don't want to leave you in the dust. I'm trying to slow down for you. All right, we're gonna at least start scaffolding our shopping cart class. Alright, I don't think we need any constructor for this, right? Standing this up, we don't need anything but the items, right? Is it that much better to call? Oh, absolutely. For what we do, any modern developer, okay, and I say that with no offense to any non-modern developers, but any modern developer, your best bet is 90% of the time going to be to grab a Mac. Because Mac out of the box is a Linux-based machine. It's a Linux-based system. So it makes all of this like basically every tool that you see that most people use today is built as though they're going to be used on web servers, because that's what serves most web products. Like Windows is a personal computer. That's what it was built for. So that's what it, that's kind of where it started its, journey with the PowerShell and stuff like that. But you'll never see a server that serves out a React-based application or a Node-based application using PowerShell. You know what I mean? It's going to be using some kind of Linux distro. And all those Linux distros, now Homebrew is just for Mac, don't get me wrong. But Homebrew is like a port into, like directly into Linux. It makes the package management super easy. Just like apt-get is for this little Ubuntu distro that we have. So yeah. Freya! What up? What up? Frey, that's one of the old school, one of my old school homies. Welcome back to the junkyard, Frey. Welcome back to the junkyard, Frey. Oh, she say I'm doing good. You say when you last came here, I was doing bad. Is that what you trying to say? All right, let's get it, y'all. Let's get this shopping cart done, okay? Combat Man, it's a developing yard. Oh yeah, before y'all came, Subaru, I was into gaming, I was doing a gaming stream, but then I eventually moved back into my real passion, which is developing. I love writing these codes, these lines of code. All right, so we are going to do our shopping cart, and the shopping cart, of course, has books. So we can actually have another book variable here, right? We can do private books here again for the shopping cart. And then, yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. And that's exactly how we want to do it. So that's perfect. I love how sometimes it just works. Nah, really, I'm trying to switch. LOL. Yeah, yo, straight up, man. Straight up. It was a good time for a while, but honestly, man, where's the actual stuff you were asked for? What's the, oh, that it's still being worked on, Freya. I'll message you. It's still being quote unquote worked on, so still don't have it yet. Is it really gonna walk? Is it gonna do all of this for us? This works. This is totally right. This is totally right. And then since this is a shopping cart, we can assume that our system would know the title, for example. We don't need to also be able to remove by author. We can just be like, since this is a system we own, the title can act as like a unique ID, so to speak. So we're not gonna mess with that. I think that's good too. So here's where things get tricky, right? Where things get tricky is, oh, you know what I just thought about? I think on the challenge description, the quantity wasn't talking about our inventory. I think the quantity was saying, like, what if you were buying a Harry Potter book, right? Like you were buying Sorcerer's Stone, but you got 3 kids and they all want their own copy, right? So if you think about an Amazon shopping cart, you have the ability to say, how many of these do you want? And then when you do a total calculation, you can actually factor that in, right? So when I'm calculating your grand total, I can say, well, you got 1 copy of this Lord of the Rings book, and it costs $25, and you got 3 copies of this Harry Potter book, and it costs $60 because Harry's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Just pee in the chat. Get out of here, Frank. So yeah, I think quantity, when it comes to recommended, I don't think quantity comes into play. I think basically what we're gonna have to do for the recommended portion is look through the books that you bought, figure out which genre you chose the most of, and recommend you a random book out of that genre. I think that's how you do I think that's how we're gonna do our recommended for you section. All right, let's get back to it. So now let's do our calculate total, because that's gonna be way different now. Let's see if they can do it for us. No, they ain't even try to do it for us this time. All right, so how do we need to do this? So we know that we can use reduce to get like the total number, like the total sum. So let's do that first. Let's say calculate total, and then this is going to take, no, we already have all of our books, and our book object has a quantity and a price in it. So we can actually iterate over this object. So this is one way to do it, what they just had. I don't like this approach though, what they doing here. Hold on, give it back. I don't really like this. So they're saying each book is, the price times the quantity, but this is a lot of code to pull that off. You don't got to do this, because this is the same as if you were to do a reduce. So here, let's write it as a reduce. Let's say we don't even need the 0 there, right? We can just say const. No, it has to be let. Does it? No. Const total is equal to, right? This.books.reduce, right? And then here we could say our starting point is going to be the total and then the book. And then here, let's just do this. We know we start at 0 with math. It's going to be whatever the total is plus, and then what this is always going to be is the book.price times the book.quantity. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this method. This is a really cool method, the reduce method. So for those who don't know, what the reduce method does is where do we go? Here we go. Okay. What the reduce method does is it iterates over an array. And what's really cool about the reduce method is it always returns back just a single item. So most of the time when you iterate over an array, you are doing something that also returns you back an array. So let's think about like a for each, for example, or a map, or a filter, or something like that. Like all of those are methods where the expectation is that they either update your array in line or they return you an array. Well, the reduce method is for situations where you want to iterate over an array and eventually return just one item. So in this case, what we're doing, oh, and it always goes from beginning to the end. It won't just stop in the middle or anything like that. So let's say you want the sum of a bunch of numbers like we do. We want to be able to go through this array of books and say, oh, since you have 3 Harry Potter books at $199 each, that's $600 because you know Harry's the GOAT. That's probably how much Harry Potter books cost. And you have one of these Lord of the Ring books. That's $25. So in total, once I get through all 4 of those items in your array, I should be able to return you back. Well, both of those items in your array, not all 4, but I should be able to return you back a grand total of $225. I mean $625. So let's actually see that in practice, right? We have these 2 books right here. We have 10 books that cost $13. Okay, and we have 5 books that cost $25 each. Because remember, this is how many of this book that do I have? I got 5 of these at $25. That's $125. I got 10 of these at $13. That's $130. So it should be around $250, right? But these are decimal, so it'll be a little more. So let's see if that's working as we would expect. Let's actually do a bookstore dot not bookstore dot calculate. It would be we need a new shopping cart. Let's actually stand up a new shopping cart. So we would have to go const shopping cart is equal to new shopping cart, and we don't need to instantiate it with anything. So that should be fine for that. And then now if we wanted to see the total, we can do shopping cart dot calculate total and where am I pushing my books? So I first have to add books. So let's actually use this to add some books here. So we'll do this after, but first we have to do shopping cart dot add book. That's what I called it, right? Yeah. So now we're going to add some books. We'll just add these same books. So now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to move these into our actual book inventory. I'm going to make this a little easier to add forward. So we have a book inventory starting here. We're missing this one. All right, so we'll add this next book. There we go. That looks good. Maybe we'll add one more if they give it to it. Yeah, and we'll add this Dark Tower book. So this is a lot of books, right? So this is 125 plus 400 plus 130. So that's going to be 530, 655. Okay, so it should be about 650 something, right? 655. So let's do shopping cart dot add book. And then what we'll do this time, though, to simplify this for ourselves, is we're going to actually add an add books method. So add multiple books. Okay, the cart. And then I'm actually going to do add books. Yeah, there we go. Would this work? Huh. Love it. That's awesome. That would work. Because this.books is already an array of books, right? So I can just concat that. Yeah, that's way easier than what we did in the other example, the one where we were doing the what was the first challenge? I already forgot. It was the to-do list. That's right. Okay. So yeah, concat might work. I don't know. I haven't used concat yet. So and this is just our book inventory. Okay. So now if I were to log this, all right, I should actually be able to get this total now. I just found out I'm gonna need to take my. Oh man, need to go to bed like now. All right, go ahead, man. Hey, it was good having you on the stream, man. Definitely get some rest. Let's see if we're all right. Worked 654.75. That's exactly what we were looking for there. And I guess the Lord of the Rings ain't in here. It's totally in here. How's that undefined? All right, there's a console log here. This is saying it didn't find it. Oh, because I removed our add books here. So we would have to do bookstore dot add books. I'll be back, dude. Hey, listen, man. Yo, I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Definitely looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, man. Get some sleep. You were a great participant today, okay? Good to have you on the stream, brother. That was awesome. Oh man, that was a really good, some really good energy on the stream there. And we're gonna add us an add books method up here too. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's definitely books, and then it's gonna be the concat. Yep, there we go. All right, so that should clear us of this error. So let's do this. Add books to store. And then this is add books to cart. And now we can actually start moving these things together. And this is shopping cart. Alright, that looks way better. Okay. And this is something we're going to do at the end. Time is it? Oh, it is 9 o'clock. It is 9 o'clock, so we are at the tail end of this. We're going to still finish this, of course, but that means that we do not have time for another challenge tonight, and it worked. So we see that we're calculating our totals. That's good. So the next thing we want to do is we want to just blow out this inventory. We need a bunch of books, and we need them to come with at least the title, author, and genre. So let's find that. All right, hang on. I'm gonna Google how to find this real quick. All right. All right. All right. There we go. What? All right, I found it. All right, bear with me. It's coming. Hang on. Let me go to the browser so you guys can see how I'm pulling the. So we're using our good friend. We're using our good friend Chat Jupiter to give us a bunch of books. What's the split on the right of your IDE? That is the console. It's called Code Runner. It allows you to write JavaScript code in your like in the code editor, and come on, Jupiter. It allows you to write JavaScript code in your editor and then hit the little play button and actually see the results in real time, like in your console. It's really cool. Man, struggling with these 50 books here. We're just gonna pull random ones from here. This is taking a while. All right, that's enough. I'm just gonna take however many they gave us. Let's go back to the IDE. What's it called again? I'm gonna look into it. It's called Code Runner. I'll give you a link to it. I'll just give you a direct link to it. Hang on. Actually, I'll give you a link to my other video. Literally, that video. All of my videos in the description have a list of all of the tools that I use, so I'll just give you that. And since you're a JavaScript fan, I will give you this. How do I? There you go. If you look at the video description, any video description on there, you'll see tools, and one of the tools is Code Runner. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add our JS here. We'll get rid of these for now. No, that's not it. We'll just copy this wherever it left off. That's fine. All right. Oh, it finished. Finished in the nick of time, huh? All right. So we now have a book inventory. Let's collapse that. That's going to be forever. But what we'll always do is we'll pull a few random ones in our inventory. Wait, what? What's wrong with that? Oh, I see. I'll just get rid of these. There we go. And then we'll also say that this is an array of books. But now something else is complained about. That's fine. Alright, we'll say it's either or. Alright, there's still something being complained about down here. Oh, it can't be. Alright, so let's actually fix that then. We're gonna fix this. We'll use regular expression to fix it. So we will say that whenever you see price of anything in here, dot star anything, we just want price. Whoops. And this is $, without the double quotes. Alright, happy. Now you're a number, no longer a string. Be great. And that fixes our number issue as well. So that was nice and fun. Alright, so now we have a bunch of books to choose from. So we want to do a couple things, right? Let me get rid of this just for a second, right? We just have to think about this recommendation feature. So the first thing we want to do is we want to build our own random inventory, inventory of books to buy. Okay, and then we want to. All right, we want to build our own inventory of books to buy, and then we want to say, based on the book the genre we have the most of, supply us with a random book from the inventory, right? Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. But then I guess the question is, how do we know which one we have the most of? We're going to have to iterate over the array that we have. And then keep track of like the number of items we have. So we would probably, we probably do want some kind of a recommendation class. So let's actually do that. Let's make a recommendation class. So it's going to be a recommendations. Do we need any? I think this is just going to be a handler class that just does methods and gives us back data in return. I don't think we actually need to store a bunch of different things here, though. right? So it's going to be like recommendations dot uh um one method would be like get most popular genre, and what that would be is a method that takes a array of books, right, and returns a string of a genre, right? So now how do we pull that off? Hang on. This can't be that clean. Where's their type any? Is it here? So they're using, okay, let's see what this is doing, right? So they're using a reducer, which is what we'd want to do. They're saying, what's counts? So counts is the starting point. They're spreading that in. They're saying, I don't know why this is actually throwing an error. Expression of type string can't be used as, and it starts as an empty object, and they're just basically giving us one book at the end, right? And then they are going to, no, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. It's close, but it's not right, right? So, we do just want one string at the end, so let's just go ahead and do that now. So really what we will need to do is we need to loop over all books. Once we do that, we need to keep track of all genre counts, and then return the genre with the highest count. Exactly, right? So the first thing we'll do is, let me see if they got it right this time. So that's right. This first one's right. Okay, and then they're gonna. So this first one, what they're doing is they're mapping over every single book, and they're only returning me the genres back. So now I have an array of all genres. Okay, and then they're gonna do a genre count. And remember, our thing is we just want the genre with the highest number at the end. So if I'm not mistaken, genre counts now, this right here is going to be a array of every single genre and how much it's equal to, right? So you'll have something like the first item in the array might be fantasy, and it might be equal to 1. And then here's the sorted here, sorted counts. So let's run this. I want to run get most popular genre against every book right now. So hang on, I'm going to run this method. That actually is a really cool method. So we are going to create a new recommendations engine. We're going to say const recommendations. And then we don't need to do that. It's equal to new recommendations. And then here what I want to say is recommendations dot get most popular, and then I just want to pass it our book inventory. And then I'm actually going to silence these right now because there's so many books that this is probably going to take too long to load. Even though there's only 50, this still wouldn't take that long to load, but it would be too long here, I mean. So I'm going to save that now, and I'm going to run this and see what we get back. Well, I probably should log that. Oh, that's so awesome that I didn't have to write all of that. So adventure is the thing that shows up the most. So what I actually want to do first, though, since this is actually giving me the actual value, I'm just gonna say give me the whole array back. That was the string. I'm gonna say it returns an array. Okay, our method returns an array. What is wrong with it? Why is that? I don't even know why that was complaining. Yeah, there we go. So now these are individual instances of each of these genres. Okay, and basically they're able to say, return back, because they put this in order now, right? They sorted this using this sorter. using this sorting engine right here, they sorted these results from highest to lowest. So now they're able to say at the 0th index, which is the very topmost array index, give me the first item. And that 0th index here, right? The 0th index here is going to be the name of the genre that was first. So now you're able to say, give me the one with the most hits, and that's adventure. So now that we know we're getting adventure back, the next thing to do is to find random book from genre. Right? So now all you need is the books array. And you need a genre. And then from there, you can return. Let me see if they already did it. Books, filter, book, where genre equals that genre. Yep, and give me a random one. This is exactly what we want to do. Find random book. Let's say random genre book. Right, so random adventure book in this case. So let's say get the most popular genre. So now instead of that, I'm gonna combine these two methods. I don't need to do this inside of I don't need to do this here, right? What I can do is actually say that our recommendations engine requires an inventory of books now, either the customer's books or the entire inventory, and you can call these methods against it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say this, right? And I'm also going to add a constructor where whoops, not there. I'm going to add a constructor here that does books that, and then I want to do this because now what this is forcing is I'm telling my system to have whoever uses this method, they're on the hook for defining, and I think I just need to do this. They're on the hook for defining this now, and I'll do this, that's fine. But I don't want to do that. I just want to do this, right? Where we're saying that books is a book type. So now whoever calls this method is on the hook for defining this. So now what we can do is we could say someone's going to pass these books in. We no longer need to do this. What we'll do is wherever we see books, we'll just change that to this.books. Because these are all going to now be private methods. So we don't need book there. We're just going to say this.books. Okay. And now what we can say is in here, in this, put the book inventory here. And now let's think about this. We want to be able to pass this method an inventory of books, and then we want to be able to say recommend a book, right? So basically find random book from genre. So the first thing this needs to do is to get a genre. So, yeah, so this would be a genre, but now this would be get the most popular genre first, and then let's say recommended for you. So recommended for you, we'll say, is literally the combination of both of these methods. So first it's gonna, yeah, let's fix this though. We want this to just be a string again. This guy, we want this to just be 0, 0 again. So now this method should be right. Yeah, there we go. So this is gonna grab the genre string. It's going to then grab the book from that string and then return us the book. So now we can just be like recommended based on books inventory. Well, I could have done a better job with that name, but that's okay. And then here we can say console.log recommendations dot that. All right, and then now I should be able to get different books every time I load this up. So this is Call of the Wild. The next book is Heart of Darkness. The next book is Treasure Island. Oh, recommendation system is complete successfully. Oh, that is so dope. All right, and then I think the last thing we would want to do is to pluck out random items from the inventory. I'm not going to do that. That's really easy to do. Um, kind of boring, and I'm not going to do that. I think we have done enough on this stream tonight. So I'm going to end it there, guys. I hope everybody here had a great learning experience. I know I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. You guys can catch me tomorrow night. We're here every Wednesday night, Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central doing coding challenges. Let's see what's on the books for tomorrow night when you guys are here. We will be doing more TypeScript, and we will be creating ourselves a recipe manager. So we're going to create a recipe manager using TypeScript, using some of these fun things, and don't worry. The Wheel of Misfortune will be involved, okay? We will be spinning that Wheel of Misfortune and making things extra difficult like we did tonight with that recommended for you section. That was pretty tough, but we pulled it off. Can you post a link to these challenges? Absolutely, my friend. I did that already. And if you want to come tomorrow prepared to knock some of these out, you can look in the Git repository and see examples, not of the answers to these challenges. Of course, we're doing those in real time, but you can see what all of these prerequisites look like. You can kind of get some ideas of how you can go about solving these, and I will be uploading the source code to the things that we've done together on stream. Okay, so that should be available either tonight or early tomorrow. The solutions to the ones that we've done. No problem, Type Error. Thanks for joining, and thank you to everyone on all the channels, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. If you haven't already, make sure you head over to the other channels to do it. It helps a lot. Keep on coding, my friends, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out, my guys and gals.